Alright, so welcome back to another bonsai video, and this is the Mikawa Japanese Black Pine I made a video about a number of years ago, and I haven't really talked about it since. Some people are wondering if it's still alive, and it is. The only thing is I've been wanting to thicken up that trunk, so a number of years ago I just stuck it in this large plastic pot, and I thought the trunk would thicken up, but it hasn't. We still have kind of like a 1-inch diameter trunk, at best 2 inches, and it's not really getting a thick trunk. I think it's having problems establishing the roots, and because of that, we've got a lot of growth on it, but it's really floppy growth. I have this pole in here kind of trying to help hold it up, but it's flopping over. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in the ground for maybe 3 years, and given all that space in the ground, it's gonna help establish the roots, thicken up the trunk more, and hopefully avoid any kind of floppiness. So we're just gonna go ahead today, go out into the front yard, dig a big hole, stick this in, and that's what I'm gonna be doing with this pine for the next couple of years before it's ready to turn into, you know, hopefully a semi-decent bonsai tree. All right, so as you can see, this is the trunk on this tree. It's really, you know, not that big at all. I mean, when you look at the huge size of this tree, if this was propped up, this tree would be at least 5 feet tall, maybe even 6 feet tall. And then that's the trunk thickness on it. So, you know, we have a decent kind of first branch down here. And I was thinking maybe, you know, since there's no branches in the middle, to just rewire that whole thing as a new apex. But the biggest thing right now is I want to get that trunk thickened up, because I mean, that's really not anything that's too super interesting for me to work with. I even considered just throwing this thing out, but I mean, since I already have it, might as well just see what we can do with it. But in the state it's in right now, just kind of flopping over, there's really not much else I can do other than planting it in the ground. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here we have it planted in the ground. You can kind of see it a little bit better. We have all the branches down here that are kind of close to the ground, but whatever. Maybe those will thicken up a little bit more. We have some stuff in the middle, not really a whole lot. This apex is tied to this stick since it is flopping over. It might straighten out, or once this starts rooting into the ground and thickening up, one of these will probably just become the new apex and we can chop that off. Ultimately, all this stuff doesn't really matter. It's just to thicken the trunk, and I'm going to be chopping this anyways. But we'll just leave all the green stuff for now, because the more foliage on here, the more photosynthesis, the faster this tree will grow. In terms of the final style, I have no idea what it's going to be, because I might chop it, you know, here and use one of these as a new leader. You know, maybe have the trunk growing up here and kind of style a triangle off to the side here and use kind of like a dead apex. Might chop it back all the way here and use one of these as the new apex. I don't know. See, I have no idea what the style is going to be, what the final size is going to be. This is just kind of a big mess right now, ever since it's been growing in that pot from, you know, I bought it as kind of like a 1 foot tall tree into what it is now. So this is kind of the best solution I could think of right now. It's in the ground, it's going to thicken up, and then we'll see what we can do with it in another 3 years. So probably not going to be a whole lot of updates, because it's just going to be, you know, growing like a field grown tree. So I'll come back in another 3 years and we'll take another look at this Mikawa Japanese Black Pine then.